Yo, it's the Elohim, the Mellow Mystic, Lord Emmanuel, Chief of simonicanation, Spike of Star Seed, the wheat in the virgin's hand. And if you don't know, now you know. Check this out though. Got some good news. simonicanation.org is officially live. Um, you can purchase all the courses and guidebooks directly from the website. You know what I'm saying? All the courses are $33, and all the guidebooks are $5. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna beat that nowhere else. You know what I'm saying? Um, as far as all the information being in one place, you know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to share the little light real quick uh, in regards to the secured party being a secured party creditor. You know what I mean? And go through the secured party creditor course. So, you know, because a lot of people don't really know the system that they're in. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know what's really going on. And that's half the battle right there. To actually know what's going on and the system that you're actually in. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. This is lesson 1.1. We will probably go through 1.1 to 1.3 of the Secure Party Mastery course. So we'll just jump into the purpose of this module, which is before a man or woman can operate in private commerce, they must first comprehend who they are and what system they're in. This module unveils the spiritual, legal, and commercial structure that governs the world's commerce system and teaches how to navigate as a living being rather than the legal fiction. Because that's all this system deals with is the legal fiction. That's it. They do not deal with the living man or woman. They only deal with the legal fiction. You learn how to separate yourself from that legal fiction, and then you'll be on your way to living in the private. So, lesson 1.1, the nature of sovereignty. 1.2 is going to go into the system of commerce, and 1.3 is going to go into the living man versus the legal entity. Now, of course, we went through a lot of this information in the sovereignty course, but you know, ain't nothing wrong with being redundant, especially when it got to do with your life force. You know what I'm saying? So, lesson 1.1, the nature of sovereignty. So the objective is to understand sovereignty not as rebellion, but as lawful self-governance, rooted in divine authority and spiritual jurisdiction. Right? So the key teachings. Sovereignty is self-ownership. To be a sovereign is to recognize no higher entity or no higher earthly authority over your body, mind, or property. Let me say that again. To be sovereign is to recognize no higher authority over your body, mind, and your property. True sovereignty is lawful under natural and divine law, not legal under corporate statutes. So there's 3 levels of law. You got divine law, right? That's the law of source. Immutable spiritual principles governing all creation. You got natural law, the law of earth, cause and effect, in the physical realm. Do no harm, commit no fraud. Then you got man's law, the law of commerce, corporate codes, contracts, and statutes governing legal persons. So, law follows the energy of authority. In commerce, whoever holds the original claim of ownership or authority is the sovereign. The system assumes you have abandoned your sovereignty when you act as the debtor or the ward of the state. So, reclaiming your standing by declaration, notice, and claim, you step back into your position as living authority, the secured party. By doing what? By declaration, notice, and claim, you step back into your position as the living authority and the secured party. You're not seeking permission, but you're giving notice of status. And that's it. So, that's lesson 1.1. 1.2 goes into the system of commerce. So this objective is to reveal how the current commercial system was built on trust law, birth registration, and debt-based instruments. So, the key teachings: the global system as a trust. All nations, banks, and corporations operate as trust or subtrust. The moment of birth registration created a trust relationship. The moment of birth registration created a trust relationship. How is that? The grantor is your parents who created the event. The trustee, the state who registered the event, and the beneficiary, you in infancy. Now, the creation of the straw man, your name in all caps represents the legal person. That's the legal person. The mask, a trust estate used as collateral for the public debt. Period. We went through this in the sovereignty course, so this is a refresher. The government holds the legal title, and you hold the equitable title by birthright. But until reclaimed, the system operates as if you've abandoned it. This is how it works. This is what is really going on. This is the system that you're in. Now, commerce equals energy exchange. Com means together. Merce means trade or exchange. So commerce is the movement of energy and value between parties through instruments, contracts, and consent. This is how, like I said, if you got any of their jurisdiction on you, then hey, you in their jurisdiction. You got the driver's license, if you got the registration, if you're a resident, you know what I'm saying? A U.S. citizen, if you identify as the person, you in their jurisdiction. Because commerce is the movement of energy and value between parties through instruments, like the driver's license and the registration, contracts, like when you sign and agree by consent. So every transaction is a trust. When you sign a contract, bill, or check, a mini trust is formed. The grantor being the signer, the trustee being the party receiving control, and the beneficiary being the one who gains the value. Right? So now we're going to go into the living being versus the legal entity. So this objective is to recognize the two identities in law and commerce and how to operate from the proper one. So the key teachings are the two capacities. The living being, a spiritual and biological man or woman on the land, and the legal entity, an artificial person created by registration subject to corporate law. Again, this is the system you're in. So jurisdiction is determined by identity. Jurisdiction is determined by identity. When you use the legal name without declaration, you operate in the public as the debtor. When you act as the secured party, you operate privately as the creditor and owner of the entity. So your signature equals energy transfer. Your signature equals energy transfer. Your autograph or your living signature conveys substance. Your legal signature under the corporate person conveys liability. The remedy lies in distinction. The living being operates by right. The legal entity operates by privilege. The key to freedom is learning to sign, act, and speak in proper capacity. That's module 1, and we'll get into the second module in the next video. But I hope this information was helpful. And until then, this is the Elohim, the Mellow Mystic, Lord Emmanuel, Chief of simonicanation, Spike a star seed, the wheat in the virgin's hand.